Okay. I literally have like a whole list of topics. Just a whole list. There's so many things that I ugh, need to talk about. The one that is the most top of mind, it's reproduction. It's reproduction and religion. So I feel like the people who have been talking about this more specifically in more blatant terms are like the pronatalists, right? So if you are not familiar with the pronatalist movement, maybe go look up the term, and I will put a link in the description box to the channel I feel like is the most active. They're like the pronatalist couple who's been everywhere. Um the reason, how can I say this? It, I found this channel that I found a couple channels like this. I guess since I've been following more Habesha girls, I finally found like the super orthodox Habesha girls, the ones who read like the super old Ethiopian Bible, the one that has the books of Enoch and all of them, and they make a lot of content basically about like the scriptures, right? Um so one girl I found, and I'll put her uh Instagram handle in the description box. So if you're into this or if you've never seen it, go follow, and you can go follow all the people that she's following. But there's a lot, like whole billions, maybe even more billions of girls and women and cultures who are like that. They're like super extra super Christians, okay? And I just feel like there's the more black Americans, especially like black Americans from middle America who I talk to, I'm realizing like y'all really don't know that this exists, which I find very strange. And then it's like the Drewski skit about the church came out, and like y'all think that whatever the bullshit in America that people are doing, that's how everyone else is living, and it's not like that. Like the brutality of the brutality and the fragility of life in the developing world are extreme. Like lots of people die, sometimes for no reason at all. Like you could be doing everything right and still have your life taken. I think like the first time this hit me in real life is when my friend Stephanie, who is Mexican, well, we're not, well, I don't really talk to her anymore, but this had to be back in like 20, I don't know, maybe 2010, 2011, something like that. She was telling me a story about how her grandmother was living in Mexico, and the cartel just kidnapped her grandmother and put her in the basement, and they were trying to like call and get her, get they had like taken her hostage for ransom, and so her family had to pay the ransom to get their grandma back and to get the house, and they were gonna like kill her grandma if they didn't give the cartel the money. And her grandma wasn't involved in any illicit activity. It's just more like she was in the area that that cartel was running, and they were like, "We own this shit," and that's how it goes. So when other people, especially if you talk to any Latin American people or any African people specifically, I do think like the Taoism and Hinduism from Asia, those are also like a lot of people. The point is, a lot of people who are not from America do take their religions very seriously. And I do think, especially in the black community, the people who claim to be religious are like pseudo religious, they're like part-time religious, and that isn't really the case. Um, I think some people, especially a lot of Black Americans and really even Africans, don't have, they've never encountered a a black person who is not either Islamic or Christian, and I grew up Buddhist, so that isn't, it's like a whole new phenomenon, because how do you explain to someone what like Hinduism is, and then you'd have to explain the billions of people in Asia. It's like people don't even know what Asia is. They've never been outside of like their ghetto traps or whatever. So explaining all of that is not going to make any sense. Um. Anyway, but so to keep going, why is all of this important? So, the way that America's structured, I know it kind of feels like it's not a social class system. It is a social caste system, though. And the whole point is for like adults to make as much money as they can, to be like the best that they can be, and then be around all the other people who are the best that they can be, and try to basically create the next generation of like super people. It's like a Gattacan society. Just go watch the movie Gattaca if you don't understand the genetic breeding that I'm talking about. The whole idea, it's not just tall, athletic, smart. It's all of those things. It's all of those things. So I feel like it's important to introduce like especially in the black community, but in a lot of other communities, I feel like the white community has lost this as well. It is important actually to start to bring in the clavicular aspect of um, attractiveness in terms of um, pretty privilege and like looks maxing. All that means is just like maxing out your genetics, but sometimes it only goes so far. Like I just think gorilla is the best. It's the most in your face example that is it's telling a full story. First, I think the Jenners were a good first. They're like the white version of this, where you see them before the plastic surgery, and it's like, you know, and then you see them after, and you're like, oh wow, plastic surgery really does work. And then we have it now in the black community with Glorilla. Like she looks way like she's definitely not like drop dead gorgeous now, but she looks way better than she did before post plastic surgery. The problem is her genetics didn't change. Her appearance changed. So what that means is like everything that she did in order to afford with money to get the plastic surgery and other physical enhancements that cost money. If you look like Glorilla did before, then you are also going to have to earn that much money in order to get the same enhancements, right? In order to get whatever it is that she has. Another thing, I think that I don't think the enhancements in her case were useful, simply because like she got to where she is in terms of like her finances by being as hideous as she was before. So without any pretty privilege at all, she was able to access that much wealth. So you might as well just ride that out. Um, so I think I'm genuinely confused about why she made those modifications. Maybe it's to try to get more. It doesn't really work. Like maybe it does. I don't know. Americans are really stupid, but I also think, and I think some of this comes back to the fact, and I've said this before, there has to be somebody in the gutter community who rises. So, like, amongst all the uglies, like, somebody's got to be the one who just does anything. Like, we've got NL, the young boy, or whatever, whoever that one is, Travis Scott, Glorilla, Sexy Red, right? Like all of these people. I think I would say Nelly, but I think that Nelly is something different. Like, Nelly is actually an attractive person, so he could have just done some regular shit in the world and probably been marginally successful. As you see, he's like transitioned into country music and being in a relationship with Ashanti. So this is him like entering into just like regular middle class America shit, which makes sense because yeah, he's like normal. He's like normal looking, like normal looking male. Like Luke Bryan and the rest of them, right? Like just like normally attractive males. Not like he's not like the most handsome dude you've ever seen, but he's like okay, like he's like a decent looking dude. He's not like atrocious. Like we have a large number of like atrocious looking men who are like super visible right now and they're like abhorrent. Like I'll just bring this back. This is why you need men like clavicular to come and just be like I am attractive because everyone else is like so extremely repulsive. That's not even the case though. Let's go back to the pronatalism conversation because I want to like bring this full circle. So we have these pronatalism people who are like, oh my God, no, people should definitely have children because like there's people like, I don't know if I'm a good example. I'm going to give Brandy is a very good example. No, actually, she's not. Who's Kyla Pratt? Great example. Kyla Pratt, right? She's like this child star, pretty like normal. Like I haven't heard of much like controversy in her life. But she also wasn't like the biggest Disney star or anything. But then she's got like two or three children or whatever, and they're just like doing normal stuff. Sometimes she'll like host a little event, like Hillary Duff is like the white version of that. Her show is pretty big, but like Kyla Pratt's show was pretty big too. I think they're like kind of equally yoked in terms of like the black version and the white version and like whatever's happening there. Um uh so like like it's really important for like women like that to like have normal lives and like all the benefits of just being like in America, like having the government and having access to like a house and like not having like all these tragic events happen to them. If you don't know what choice TV is, you should go watch choice TV, but especially in the black community, like it's like 90% of the black stars have fallen through to tragedy. So it's like we for so long we didn't have any examples of just like normal like Kyla Pratt type of stories where it's just like yeah, she just like grew up. It's just no stories like that, which is crazy because just like the odds of tragedy striking over and over again, like the same group, that's impossible. And this is like where we come to the Somali community. Now, I've been watching this for a while, but I didn't really speak about it because on it I didn't really understand. I didn't understand in words, but like the Somali community, the Habesha community, um, I haven't really seen that many Sudanese people where I am, but I'm pretty sure they're like everywhere. Like Africans are tribal. I don't know another way to say that. Like that's why there's legitimately tribes in Africa and everybody's talking about tribes and that's why you see Tope in a picture with his like tribal gear and his sword and I think y'all don't understand what that shit means cuz y'all aren't African and whatever. Like I'm not going to sit here and try to like explain it to you. You go read the history of everybody's tribe or just fucking talk to them. So, as a person who's involved in my own tribe with my own interests and my own wants, needs, and desires, I have said this many, many times. Like, I have a sibling, but I grew up like an only child. So I was extremely spoiled and I'm very self interested. So what that means is like I don't really give a shit about what you have going on. Like at all. Like and I a really big part of me growing up Buddhist is understanding karma, justice. Those are like core values and beliefs that I hold and I've unpacked very deeply for like 99% of my life. So there's just some shit that I just won't do. And so I want to bring this back to a conversation that Lucas was having last night. And he was basically saying, like, I'm not an atheist because if I was, I would be homicidal or suicidal because with all of the shit going on, you have to be able to endure, and Christians endure. And there are certain things that they won't do because they want to get into heaven. I actually agree with that quite deeply. And I think that he was specifically talking about Christians there and he was saying that atheists are the opposite because they're like they don't have anything to live for. But I feel like he has not explored atheism because I see that in a different way. Like most of the atheists that I know actually understand law and order. That's why we have a justice system in America because most atheists are coming from either Europe or America. So they do understand the justice system and this idea of law and order, and they believe in that. This is like this democratic ideal that we can vote and make laws, and it's supposed to be fair. Now, okay, so let's bring back these two ideas because they are kind of opposing, but they like make sense when you put them together. On one side, you have the fundamentally religious people. You can say they're the Islam, Christians, Hindus, Buddhists, whatever. All of these people have pretty extreme religious philosophies. And I've broken down to you that in other parts of the world, especially in a lot of tribes, they don't practice religion in the same way that these like American pseudo religious people practice them. Where people in America, like with the Drewski skit, they're like flying in the church and shit and being like, give us the tithes and stuff. Sometimes they do, but a lot of people actually read the books and they really try to live like that. And they're the evil that others are talking about that I think that some people are kind of taking lightly are extremely present. Okay, like you see real demons. Like we only have little Nas X or like what is the other one? JT's boyfriend, like him, and it's like ha ha ha. They're on like Hollywood, but yeah, no, like the developing world is not really a joke. I've been to Tijuana and I've seen some shit. Like y'all should really travel and see the way that the other parts of the world are and live. They don't have law and order and a justice system. And I want to bring this back to America. So, Black Americans specifically, and just keep this in mind. Black Americans do have a lineage back to Africa. So they originally are also a part of some tribe that continental Africans right now, even some who are in America, are still part of. Like, for instance, Betty right now is in Ethiopia. She's in Gondor with her tribe, and she's sharing videos about that and talking about it right now. And then Betty will come back to Los Angeles probably next week. But she did not leave her tribe. She knows where her tribe is. She knows what they're talking about. She understands the customs and values and religion so this idea that like all Black Americans have no lineage is fucking ridiculous. And also there are billions of Black people on planet Earth. Billions. And we all come from different tribes. But let's bring this back because like in America, the Blacks are only like 13% of the population. So that's just not a very large amount. But oh man, American propaganda and American media are very far reaching, like extremely far reaching, even all the way to Africa, right? So, um, all of the American bullshit and all of the oppression and the anti blackness and the way that these laws have applied to whites but not to blacks has been broadcast even back to Africa, to Asia, to India, to Latin America, all of the groups who are not a part of, we'll call it the Union. So everybody knows how like the Black Americans are treated. It's no secret. Like we all know. So now we come to this point where people are trying to say like, oh, Americans believe this, Americans believe that, Americans believe this, except remember I told you people are tribal. Africans are very tribal. So cut the bullshit, right? Like basically like if you are in America and you realize, okay, well now I am viewed as a Black American and I will be treated like a Black American even though I am a member of this tribe. Think the Somali community. Okay. Yeah, they're just gonna cheat. And so yeah, that's what happened. I don't even know another way to say how like yeah, Somalis with I like who commit incest and all type of crazy shit. FGM, all types of shit. Like Somalia is an East African country, very close to Ethiopia, right? So kind of the same shit that's going on in Ethiopia is going on in Somalia. That's why the people look kind of similar, not extremely similar, but kind of sort of, right? Um, but they were gonna survive, and they are extremely pronatalist. Like they're not gonna abort any children. They're going to legitimately try to create Somaliland, and they did. and then they scammed billions of dollars from the government. And it's a scam that just they deserve so much credit. Like I don't feel bad about it. Like some black people had to get something. And so if it was the Somali community that got it, fuck them. Like they never gave the black Americans any. Like some black people had to get some stuff. So I'm kind of confused about like how any like what? Like the scam was basically America not giving black Americans any rights anyway. So like who's really mad that like the Somalis came in and stole the shit. Like, why are the Black Americans playing by the rules anyway? Like, they've been taking your shit for the whole history of the whole country. Like, what? Jokes on you, I guess, who didn't have a tribe and wasn't watching this. How many times did I talk about Nagad on this channel? Nagad is Somali. Like, where was this 2023? We were doing like dance skits. I'll link all Nagad videos in the description box, I guess. If you I don't know what to tell you. Like I saw this a while ago because I kept seeing like the Habesha girls would send me like little shit and like tag me in things, and I'd be like, "What is going on?" Because like I'm not that tribal. Like I've said this, I grew up in America. I'm very individualist. I have a Black American parent, so like I don't have the same like tribal beliefs as maybe like Betty, but don't get me wrong, I understand what the tribe is talking about. I'm not dumb. So I was like, I'm like, let me tap it and like see what the fuck these girls are talking about. And then I did kind of see it and I was like, oh well, making progress over here. But a big part of that, and I do want to say this for some Black American girls to kind of take heed and beware. Um, y- you are a role model for someone. That is, and I've said this before, and I just really said it. Because of my personal values, there is some shit that I won't do, but there is some shit I will. And now I want to talk. Actually, I might save the AFCOM uh, chat for another video, but yeah, like have some morals. Pick some. Pick any. And I think that there are just a lot of men, specifically black men, black American men, who seem to think that chastity is like the one value that they should hold most. And like a woman's chastity is like, even though they don't have any women. So I don't really understand how any of that works. Like, I think the retardation in that community is just far reaching and like I don't know. It just like justifies the abortion Barbie period. Like there are just so many men who should not be here. Just a ridiculous number of them. And it was actually really interesting. And I think I actually might do some um make a little compilation about this. But did you guys see there was like that fat girl who came on and was talking about how there are basically these men who shouldn't be here, and everyone was saying back to her that she's wrong and she's wrong because she's ugly and the call is coming from the inside the house, all type of shit like that. She's not wrong. And then it's like in the last 2 days I've heard three other people say the same thing. One of them in like the is it the real rich witch or something, her, like she legitimately said the exact same thing, and I don't even think she saw the other girl's video. And I think that because most people are literally just living out their own personal interests, which have nothing to do with ugly, poor black men specifically, but all hideous men in the world, really. Like, no one notices them. Like, they are actually invisible. Like, nobody cares what they're doing. And I mean, like, nobody at all. So when everybody's like, yeah, no, these men really shouldn't be here, and like ICE is recruiting them to go fight a war, they're going to make a war to send the men off. This is a good idea because they do need to be separated from us. And this is kind of another, I'll go into this more deeply, but it's kind of why I feel like The black women need to stop following Blueface. Blueface is leading you in the wrong direction. Like Blueface has gone off a cliff. Really, all of the black male rappers have just jumped headfirst off of a cliff, except for DDG. I'm gonna save that for a different video too, because this is like so long already.